Hi guys, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today we're doing more block walls. I've done a lot of block walls. However, a few of you guys keep asking me, how do you know if it's a 1/2 inch? And can I go 1/4? Can I go 1/8? We've answered that question a few times. In order to get rid of these block lines, and that means when it rains, the block lines will reappear unless you go thick enough. And everybody keeps, well, I got enough responses. And folks are saying, how do you know when you've gone a 1/2 inch? Here's a tip, guys. Go a little heavier if you're not certain. That way these block lines won't show the first rain. I'll give you an example. And by the way, yeah guys, I'm using a big monster trowel. The average trowel is 12 by 5, but this is the average trowel. Anyway, to prove what I'm getting at, I like to use this big trowel because I can. Anyway, let me get in here. And what I generally do, guys, is I'll put a coat on. Okay. Now, I'm actually working on a bush. But what I'll do, guys, is I'll put my first coat on. And notice I give a little bit more on the top of that. Why do I put a little bit more on the top right here and go over it? I'll show you that in a minute. But for the sake of showing you what I'm referring to, I'll spread this out a little bit better. I'll get on this side of the board here. Okay. Generally, guys, I'll use a big trowel too because number one, I can handle it, and number two, I drop a lot less mud than with a small trowel. And besides, this is almost like a rod and a trowel combined. So I put on my first coat like so, and when I can use this like a rod, where I'm coming here, I'm coming down. Now I'm smoothing out this wall. And what I'm basically doing, guys, is a hard steel trowel finish. Say, for example, if these guys wanted to do that chalkboard paint, they can do it directly over this when it dries. We've done a few videos where we put a couple finishes in order to do the chalkboard paint. But we can do it over a steel trowel finish. And why I put so much up here is because now I can take my trowel here and cut it back. That gives a clean finish for whatever they're going to put on the cap here. They've suggested quite a few things. Anyway, guys, let me get back to what I was originally showing you. The depth of the stucco. How do you know when you got enough mud on there? Well, again, what I'll generally do is go a little thicker. The idea is when we're done, you don't want to see the grout lines. And when it's dry, you won't see the grout lines. However, when it gets wet, those grout lines can reappear. So, if you're not certain, guys, put a little extra. You see where I'm going with this? A little bit extra. One more time. Now I'm a little over that 1/2 inch mark. Just like so, guys. Boom. I've already done 25 feet of this. Jay's kind of wedged in between this wall and the garage. Let's see, I was saying like a rock in a hard spot. Well, that's where Jay is right now, trying to get it so that you guys can see the side view. Anyhow, guys, that's how I do it. And I use this humongous trowel just because it's a steel trowel finish. We're actually going to put a color coat over this in a couple weeks when it dries. But for those of you who asked that question, man, how thick do you got to go? Go a little bit thicker if you're not certain. That way you can't lose, and when it rains, you won't have some fella calling you back and say, man, it's raining, I can see all the grout lines. Anyhow, guys, my name is Kirk. I'm with Kirk Giordano Plastering. We thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.